Good afternoon. Today I'm going to read this book called 4 Feet, Two Sandals, and it's written by Lynn Williams and Khandra Mohammed. And this story is actually based on some experiences that Khandra Mohammed, one of the authors, had. This book takes place in the city of Peshawar, which is on the border between two countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Those countries are in Asia. And in this book, the people are living in a city that was created for people who were leaving their countries because there were things going on in their countries that made it unsafe. Those cities that are created by people who have to leave their countries, those are called refugee camps, and the people who live in them are called refugees because what they hope to do is immigrate, which means move, to another country where it's safe. So the people live in these cities while they wait to move to a new home in a different place where it's safer. While I'm reading this book to you, I want you to think about the two main characters and how they show their friendship, and also how do they solve the problem of having a limited amount of supplies. The story is going to be about how they end up sharing something that they both need. And I think that's a really important message to think about during this time, because while we're at home and learning from our houses, it's important to think about whether or not we have enough of what we need and whether or not we can help someone else who may not have enough of what they need. All right, let's get started. The crowd began to leave. In the dust at Lena's feet lay a brand new sandal. It was yellow with a blue flower in the middle, and when she slipped it on her foot, it fit perfectly. Lena was 10, but she had not worn shoes for 2 years. I wonder why someone would not be able to wear shoes for 2 years. She looked around for the matching sandal. A girl stood nearby. She was thinner and darker than Lena, and she wore a blue and yellow sandal. "Assalamu alaikum," Lena greeted her. "Peace be with you." The girl only stared. She was dressed in a shalwar kameez. Her feet were cracked and swollen, as Lena's had been when she first arrived in camp. Suddenly the girl turned, taking the matching sandal with her. I wonder why their feet are cracked and swollen. Could it be because they're walking around with no shoes? In the morning, Lena went to do the washing. Wearing one beautiful sandal, she picked her way to the stream, careful to keep her sandal out of the filth. Her old shoes had been ruined on the many miles of walking from Afghanistan to Peshawar, the refugee camp in Pakistan. She had carried her brother Najib, no bigger than a water jug then, but just as heavy. They had to walk from one country to another. When she looked up from her scrubbing, the girl from yesterday was standing over her. She wore one sandal that she bent over and removed. "Grandma says it is stupid to wear only one." She placed the sandal at Lena's feet. Then she turned and walked away. "Wait." Lena grabbed both sandals and followed her. I am Lena. The girl turned slowly. I'm Feroza. Lena held the sandals out. We can share. What good is one sandal for 2 feet? Feroza frowned. You wear them both today, and I will wear them tomorrow, Lena smiled. 4 feet, 2 sandals. Feroza smiled too. She took the sandals and put them on. Tomorrow they will be yours. The 2 girls greeted each other as they carried their jugs for water the next day. Lena put the sandals on and they waited together in the long line. Wow, this is a long line for water. I wonder if we've waited on any long lines recently. Nothing as bad as this, of course. The water's coming out of a pump. Everyone in the camp was waiting for a new home. Mama went to meetings about being resettled. The girls stayed in Lena's tent with Ismatu and Najib. They were careful to keep the sandals away from the 2 boys, for Ismatu wanted to pull at the flowers and Najib wanted to chew on them. My father and sister were killed in the war, Lena told her friend. Mama and I had to run with Ismatu and Najib in the night. Feroza nodded, and 2 tears ran down her cheek. I have only my grandmother now. When they did not have work to do, Lena and Feroza crept up to the windows of the school and peeked inside. The school was small with only enough room for the boys to study. The girls practiced their names in the dirt and brushed the marks away so no one would see their mistakes. Sometimes each girl wore 1 sandal. Other children pointed and giggled, but Lena and Feroza did not care. In the evenings, the sky turned deep blue and the first stars began to sparkle. Lena and Feroza watched for the silver of the crescent moon that signaled the beginning of Ramadan. They shared memories and whispered their dreams for a new home. One morning, they went to the stream and washed their sandals to keep them looking new. Lena, come quick, Feroza's grandmother called. Your mother says your name is on the list. Feroza grabbed the sandals. The 2 girls ran ahead to the office. Her mother's name has been called for what, I wonder? Lena stood on tiptoes and squinted at the sign. Mama's name! It's here! We're going to America! She looked at her friend. My name is not there, Feroza said quietly. She looked at her feet as she spoke. Then she bent down and took the sandals off. She handed them to Lena. You cannot go barefoot to America. Feroza gave Lena a hug. When it was time to leave, the relief worker gave Mama a large square white bag with numbers on it. All of your important papers are in this bag, he said. Feroza and her grandmother came to say goodbye. Lena pointed at her feet. Look, Mama, saved her sewing money. She has bought us shoes for America. Real shoes, Feroza admired the new black leather. Here, Lena said, it is your day to wear these. The tears in her eyes were not for the sandals. Assalamu alaikum, Feroza said as she took the faded yellow and blue sandals. Peace be with you. Lena followed the others to the bus. Wait, Feroza called as she ran to her friend. You must keep one. She handed Lena one sandal. What good is one sandal? It is good to remember. Feroza held up the other sandal. 4 feet, 2 sandals. Lena felt the tears make a trail down her cheek. She slipped the sandal into her bag and climbed on the bus. Feroza ran alongside as the bus began to move. Lena leaned out the window. We will share again in America, she called. And that's the end. So I was thinking, what are some of the things that Lena and Feroza share in this story? That's right, one thing is the sandals. But what else? They seem to share other things besides those sandals. And at the end, Lena and Feroza had to be separated because one was going to America and the other was staying in Peshawar. Have you ever been separated from someone who was important to you? Why? And how did you feel about it? Also, something else that I was thinking about is how Lena and Feroza decided to help each other because they both needed shoes to wear. And they came up with a creative solution where they would share the sandals on different days. They each got to wear them. Have you ever had to share something, or have you ever wanted to share something because somebody didn't have something that you had? I'm also thinking of ways that we can share some of the things we may have now with other people who may not have enough. You might want to think about that and talk to your grown-ups at home. What are some of the things that people don't have enough of right now? And are there any ways that we can share those things if we have them so that there's more equity in the community? Having equity in a community means that everyone in the community has what they need. And sometimes it's really hard to make sure everybody has what they need. So think about that. Think about some of the ways that you can share with others. It might even be other people in your own home. I hope you liked the book, 4 Feet, 2 Sandals by Lynn Williams and Khandra Mohammed. Okay, bye.